Conservation Ag Update is brought to you by Martin Industries. Great to have you with us on another edition of Conservation Ag Update. I'm Noah Newman. Welcome to our first episode of April. Thanks to Martin Industries, our new sponsor, for hopping on board. All right, let's jump right in. Farmers surveyed across the U.S. are expected to plant 90 million acres of corn this year. That's down 5% from 2023, according to the USDA's annual prospective plantings report. And corn acreage is also expected to drop by 300,000 acres or more in several states, including Indiana, which just so happens to be the home of No-Till Farmers 2024 Conservation Ag Operator Fellow, Ray McCormick. He farms in Vincennes, Indiana. That's in the southwestern part of the state, right near the Illinois border. Now, heading into planting season, McCormick says it's going to be tough to turn a profit on corn this year.
The corn price has fallen apart. So with corn now trying to get below $4, it's going to be tough to not lose a lot of money this year. And so I've got a lot of old corn, which is now not worth anything. And I'll be growing a lot of corn that's not going to be worth much. But 100% of the corn I grow is non-GMO. So I sell it into specialty markets, which are all making drinking alcohol out of the non-GMO corn. So I don't know why people need non-GMO to poison their liver, but it's not for me to judge.
Yeah.
And that's 40-cent premium on top if there's a positive basis. So I could get 50 or 60 over the board for that corn, but still I'm not getting $6 or $7. If you even get that, you're getting $4.50. Mm-hmm. So dramatic fall in the prices.
McCormick also grows all non-GMO soybeans, which he's sold for a $3.10 premium. So he says that will definitely help limit some of his losses. Well, in the No-Till Farmer email discussion group this week, we asked, on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about drought this year? Let's see what some of you said. Roger Ingstrom's concern level's at about a 5. He says, I'm concerned for farmers who have depleted soil. On my farm, I feel confident because I've been using strip-till and no-till for 18 years. My soil organic matter has increased from less than 3% to nearly 6% now. Every drop of rain infiltrates where it falls, no runoff. Nathan Brubaker has a similar response. He says, if you're not getting rain and your profile is not very full, I would be concerned. As you build organic matter with no-till and cover crops, your soils will begin to absorb and hold water more efficiently. It can take a number of years of intentionally doing this with covers, but please do not give up on cover crops, he says. H. Grant Troop checks in from the East Coast, where he says the concern level for drought is always at about a 9 out of 10. We try to drought-proof our operation, he says. Here's our approach. 1, we work on the physiochemistry, great word, of our soil. 2, we fertilize our soil, so all nutrients are in the high to very high level. 3, maintain high levels of surface residue from the previous crop and cover crops. 4, roots with an exclamation point. We do everything we can to grow lots of roots. And number 5, we stay at the ready with foliar applications and PGRs to mitigate drought stress. Concerned about drought? Maybe. Worried about drought? No. We'll leave the rest to the Lord of the harvest. And you can join the conversation by signing up for the No-Till Farmer email discussion group on no-tillfarmer.com. Right now, though, let's send it over to McCain Vogel, standing by with today's Cover Crop Connection.
Thanks, Noah. This week, I traveled to Wenninger Farms for a pre-planting clinic hosted by the Dodge County Farmers for Healthy Soil and Healthy Water. The event was filled with lots of great discussions and presentations. Here's cover crop specialist Brendan Blank answering the age-old question of which one's better, winter wheat or cereal rye?
Cereal rye, it roots more aggressively. Deeper roots, just more vigorous. It's just a bulletproof plant. You can plant it later. It's just the most forgiving thing out there. There is also some, most of the cereal rye that you're working with is VNS rye. It hasn't been really changed from a genetic standpoint nearly to the level that a lot of our wheat has. There is some talk out there there's some evidence out there that some of the winter wheat, through the cultivation over the years, where it's basically being grown and cultivated in high tillage environments, high fertility environments, where it's lost some of that vigor and that mycorrhizal fungi associations that go along, that the cereal rye does really well. So that's kind of bred some of that out of it and basically bred it to be more built towards a system where it's got all the fertilizer and stuff at once. Whereas the rye, that hasn't happened, and it's basically rye is, for the most part, it's growing in more rugged conditions. It's not pampered as much, and it does better there. And we want something as a cover crop. We want something that's going to just work really, really hard. And rye has proven itself to do that. And winter wheat is just a little bit more of a princess. It's just not as rugged, and it's designed to be a commodity crop and designed for above ground material, whereas the rye is just kind of old, and it's like that old 40-20 John Deere. It just kind of works. It's old and reliable, and we haven't messed it up.
Stay tuned in the coming weeks for lots more content from the pre-planting clinic, including some advanced cover crop technology and a preview into this year's National Strip-Tillage Conference. Until then, I'm McCain Vogel. Back to you, Noah.
Great stuff as always. Thank you very much, McCain. Time now for the farmer feature. Stepping into the spotlight this week is, drumroll, Merlin, Ontario no-tiller Blake Vince. Blake's farm is located in Canada, about 1 hour east of Detroit, straight across the shores of Lake Erie. He's big on diverse, multi-species cover crop mixes, and Blake says his no-till system didn't really feel complete until he started grazing those cover crops.
When we start introducing the cattle, it provides a very good opportunity to gain revenue from the cover crops, right? Because we can take those cover crops, we can use them to feed livestock. We can then take the manure that comes from the animal and the urine and then drive soil function far greater than we can with synthetic inputs. And that's when the whole system really starts to smoke. And it really gives me tremendous satisfaction seeing and finally understanding what's possible. And tragically, we're not teaching our students this at any level within the academic situation, right? The academic institutions that we're all familiar with. And we got to get back to recognizing that soil is a collection of living, breathing organisms, and we need to feed those organisms.
Great to hear from Blake, as always. Moving on, strip-till was in the spotlight at the Wisconsin Public Service Farm Show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin last week. Cascade, Iowa strip-tiller Zach Ryder, who also co-owns short-line equipment dealer Z&J Farms, was on hand to share some advice for first-time strip-tillers.
Well, I talk to strip-tillers all day at farm shows. I talk to strip-tillers basically almost every day. New strip-tillers, I tell them, have a network. Work with a dealer that knows strip-till. There's a lot of really good equipment dealers out there. Some of them know strip-till, some of them don't. So seek out a dealer that knows strip-till and works with strip-tillers, because it's really a shift in your mind on how your whole operation works, but the shift is far worth it. It's really, really neat, the things that we're seeing these soils do, and how our soil health is getting better, how our yields are getting better, and how we can control our costs.
Ryder switched from conventional tillage to strip-till in 2016 to solve his labor challenges and erosion issues. He now strip-tills 100% of his corn acres. Our video of the week comes to us from the Conservation Tillage and Technology Conference. A panel of veteran no-tillers were asked about their biggest mistakes. Barry Fisher, what was yours?
I would say pre-planting my nitrogen on an entire farm, thinking I was going to get that entire farm not only planted, but cover crop killed. So all this nitrogen was on, and I got half of it planted, and a sprayer came right behind it. Everything that I got planted, I got killed, but everything else, it turned into a week or 2 weeks, and I had the greenest, most wonderful, lush cover crop you've ever seen. However, then it turned to dry, and then it went bad. The yield difference was probably a 40 bushel yield difference. Fortunately, it was a small percent of that farm, but today, the planter is going to, the first nitrogen is going to be on my planter, and then side dress the rest.
And that'll do it for this week's episode. If you have a story idea or just want to share what's going on in your neck of the woods, always love hearing from you guys. Shoot me an email, newman@lestermedia.com. Thanks for watching Conservation Ag Update. Our next episode airs April 19th. We'll see you then.